Welcome everyone to Law and Crime Daily. I'm Brian Buckmeyer. Co-host Terry Austin is on assignment covering the trial of Zachary Wester, where the prosecution has rested in the trial of a former deputy accused of planting drugs on unsuspecting motorists. Terry explains.
Zachary Wester is facing 67 charges, including racketeering, possession of a controlled substance, and false imprisonment. The charges are related to allegations of planting drugs while he was out on patrol. And for one Florida motorist, it was a traffic stop that changed his life.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
This is former Jackson County, Florida Sheriff Deputy Zachary Wester as he searches the car of James Fears.
Man, I like to hum a tune in case something ever goes in front of the jury, you know.
Wester reportedly stopped Fears while his wife was driving on June 4th, 2018, for a problem with their license plate tag.
What we got there, my friend? Look at there. All right. Both of y'all are just going to be detained at this time, okay? I can undetain you. I just can't unarrest you.
Wester places James and Jade Fears into handcuffs. The deputies explain they found dope in their vehicle.
Had you ever seen anything like that in your car?
No, sir.
Had you put anything back behind that the front passenger seat?
No, sir.
Fears admitted on the stand he was convicted of 4 felonies. He knew both Wester and fellow deputy Trevor Lee from prior encounters. Fears was arrested for possession of meth, but weeks later, prosecutors dropped the charge, saying the case could not be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. On cross-examination, Fears told the defense that he didn't see either deputy plant anything in his car.
Do you have a civil suit pending in this action?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you sued Zachary Wester?
Yes, sir.
And Trevor Lee?
No, sir.
No, sir. Just Zachary Wester?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else? Sheriff's Department?
Sheriff's Department.
On redirect, Fears explained why he's suing Wester and the Sheriff's Department.
Because I sold every damn thing I had to keep my roof over my head. I sold everything I had that was worth anything.
You told the deputy on that video that you were going to lose your job over this and that you felt it was wrong, correct?
Yes, sir.
You still feel that way? You
Yes,
still
sir.
feel like this was wrong?
Yes, sir, it is wrong.
Wester has pleaded not guilty, and his defense attorney says he will take the stand when they present their case. For Law and Crime Daily, I'm Terry Austin.
Thanks, Terry. Joining us today is trial attorney Jamie White, along with the host of the newest podcast on the Law and Crime Network, Coptales, Tulsa Police Lieutenant Sean Larkin. Now, Jamie, the defense is going to recall one of the witnesses and 2 officers and actually anticipate Wester to testify. What kind of defense could we be looking at here?
It's going to be a circus, Brian. You know, it's very unusual. It's very unusual that a defendant testifies in his own defense. And here, I can't think of anything that Mr. Wester can say that is going to assist him. You know, they found an extraordinary amount of paraphernalia in the back of his police car that could have only been used to assist in these unbelievable crimes. So, you know, I suspect it's a Hail Mary to find some sympathy in the jury. They only need 1 or 2 people to find that, you know, he's a nice guy and from maybe a perverted point of view was doing his job and therefore doesn't deserve to go to prison. But it's a very bad choice, in my opinion, on part of defense counsel.
Now, Sean, I'm seeing a lot of the prosecution using, I think the best way to say it is juxtaposing Wester, who they identify as a bad cop, with good cops like yourself, and trying to really drive home the emotional impact of saying, like, this is the one we have to go after. Do you think that's a smart tactic by the prosecution of showing this is the bad apple to try to remove from the tree that is law enforcement?
Sure it is, because I think the overwhelming, number of people in the public, they know police overall are good, hardworking guys that just want to keep these communities safe. And I can tell you, there's nobody that wants a dirty cop gone more than the good cops that are out there. And so by portraying, showing this guy is the bad apple, hey, this other unit investigated them or this group investigated them, they themselves want to get him out of here. I think it's a great tactic.
Yeah, I think it's working out very well. We're looking at a lot of our chatters on YouTube at Law and Crime commenting on just that. And Sean, thanks for joining us because you brought a sneak peek from one of your upcoming podcasts, and this story really moved me. Let's take a listen to this interview with a 91-year-old police officer in Arkansas, and you can tell us more on the other side.
Well, as long as you've been on the job, I assume you get a lot of respect, don't you, sir?
Yes, sir.
If you pull somebody over, they get out of the car and come back and grab the ticket and then get back in the car and drive off, don't they?
Most people know me. When I stop them, it's a buckshot. You know, I know everybody from maybe 5 years old up. I helped a lot of people.
Sean, that was a great interview, and I actually saw one of your episodes, really interesting. I'm a little jealous because I can see in the background there that you actually get to share a drink with some of your guests. You got to tell me how you got Dan to agree to that, but tell us more about this officer who's not planning on retiring anytime soon.
Yeah, so Buckshot, he is actually, as of yesterday, 92 years old. So we did the podcast yesterday with him. We kind of got to have a celebratory drink. He himself does not drink, but we had one in his honor. But yeah, he's been in law enforcement. This is his 57th year now. He did 46 years with the sheriff's department. He retired and was gone for about 5 months, and he just missed it that much that he then got hired by the local police department, and he is on his 11th year there now. And just as he was talking about, he pretty much knows everybody in that community, you know, from 5-year-olds on up to full-grown adults. And he's kind of a celebrity in that area because he's been there so long.
Absolutely. Now, Sean, you may be retiring before Officer Smith, but you still have plans to serve your community. Tell us a little bit about your plans after retirement.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm actually proud to say tomorrow is my last day on the job here in Tulsa, about a 25-year career here. Kind of scared, but I'm looking forward to some of the new stuff going forward. Just as we talked about, the podcast is something I'm really excited about. You know, the name is Coptales. I kind of unofficially call it Coptales and Cocktails. And my co-host, who you saw there, is Howard Doss. He's an ICU nurse. The two of us are big bourbon collectors. And so the idea behind each show is going to be a casual conversation about a serious profession. The two of us are going to sit down and talk with police officers, informants, convicted felons, pretty much anybody that's touched the law enforcement world through the years, and just try to talk to them about their story, but done in this casual conversation while we're having a drink. Got a book coming out next month that I've also partnered with Dan Abrams on. Really excited about that, called Breaking Blue. And I'm actually going to volunteer and work with a cold case unit here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that kind of looks into some of the older unsolved homicide cases.
Well, Sean, if you ever need a public defender, Woodford Reserve is my drink. Thank you very much for joining us.
I've got you, buddy.
All right, still ahead on Law and Crime Daily, the perfect expert weighs in on the case of the missing tiger in Texas. But first, the shocking allegations defense attorneys for the 3 former police officers charged in the death of George Floyd are making against the